What geographical challenges did Tupac Amaru's rebellion face? Imagine trying to fight a war in a place where the land itself seems to work against you. That's exactly what Tupac Amaru Roman II and his followers faced during their rebellion in the Andes. The rebellion took place mainly in the highlands of colonial Peru, a region full of steep mountains and narrow valleys. Moving large groups of fighters through such rugged terrain was a huge challenge. The steep slopes and rocky paths made it hard to march quickly or surprise the enemy. It was like trying to run through a maze of giant rocks and cliffs. The high altitude added another layer of difficulty. The cold weather and thin air made it tough for fighters to stay healthy and keep their energy up. Many indigenous fighters were used to the climate, but prolonged campaigns still wore them down. The weather could change suddenly, with snow or rain making the mountains even more treacherous. This unpredictable climate slowed down their plans and made it hard to stay in one place for long. The villages where indigenous people lived were scattered across the mountains. These small, isolated communities were separated by natural barriers like rivers and steep slopes. While this helped the rebels gather local support, it also made it hard to unite everyone into a strong, coordinated force. Communication was slow, and supplies had to be carried over difficult terrain. This meant the rebels could not easily move troops or gather reinforcements from distant areas. The colonial authorities controlled the main towns and strategic locations. Cities like Cusco and mining centers like Potosi were heavily fortified and located in defensible spots. These urban centers were tough to attack because they sat in natural strongholds. Even if the rebels gained ground in rural areas, capturing these key cities was a different story. The Spanish had built roads and defenses that made it hard for the rebels to penetrate these strongholds. There were also other uprisings happening nearby, like the rebellion led by Tupac Amaru in what is now Bolivia. The terrain made it difficult for these different groups to coordinate their efforts. The mountains kept them separated, and poor communication meant they couldn't join forces easily. This limited the overall impact of the indigenous resistance. All these geographical hurdles show how tough it was for Tupac Amaru's rebellion to succeed. The mountains, the climate, the scattered villages, and the fortified cities all played a part. Yet, despite these obstacles, the rebellion persisted and became a symbol of indigenous resilience. It shows how deeply connected the people were to their land and how their spirit of resistance endured against all odds.